Live, and we're live. Bonjour. Let me refresh on another computer to double check. I'm watching. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We can start.
Hello. Let me refresh the YouTube so I can see it. Uh.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. I think everyone can hear me. Hi guys. Welcome to the next stream. It's been I'm not gonna say it's been a long time. It's been like 2 weeks. I think we streamed only once in January. I was a little gone, and there is not the best Wi-Fi in the Central America, to say at least. So, but yeah, I'm back home. We are going to be back weekly as always. Before we jump into things, thank you guys for joining in. The stream is sponsored by Woo. And if you want to help out, show some support, you can use the first link in the description to make a new account on Woo. You'll get a bunch of benefits which you see on the screen. And with that being said, we can take a look at some charts. So yeah, you can switch to my screen,
Yes.
or I don't know. Okay, nice. Let me just close this. Okay, so starting with BTC. This is not BTC. This is BTC right here. So not much has happened, to be fair. Like I'm not exactly sure when was the last time we were speaking. I think around this kind of a ETF launch sell-off. Since then, from the weekly time frame perspective, it's fairly simple. We kind of took out these highs. It looked really bearish, but then the last week we had this kind of a decent buyback on BTC. I don't know if there were any kind of news or whatever, but basically, we kind of rallied all the way up here. To be fair, there is not that many reasons to trade this at the moment. To be fair, hopefully this is kind of this part of the cycle where BTC should go sideways. Alts might be rallying, and we have a bunch of altcoins to talk about today as well. So I want to kind of keep it very sweet and simple. On Bitcoin, you can see also, obviously, based on how you are kind of trading, we are inside this kind of range right here, and there is this high volume node profile. This kind of a main distribution. As long as we stay here, like I said, I don't really see many reasons to try to position yourself. We had this kind of false break on the upside, false break on the downside as well. So yeah, as long as Bitcoin kind of does nothing, altcoins should be, more interesting to trade. With ETH not looking super strong,
Thanks.
to be fair. ETH, kind of lacking as it kind of always does. Expect this kind of 1 week when Runner mortgaged his house and went long ETH BTC, and now we are basically back.
Fuck this shit. I'm quit.
but yeah, even like ETH is still, this is a weekly time frame, but we are still kind of holding into this kind of structure here. So I'm not saying this look like super bearish, but at the same time, it's just kind of hanging around. Obviously, it's a 12-hour chart, so this is almost 2 weeks of basically doing nothing. And ETH BTC is, I think for ETH BTC, to be fair, this is kind of the time this should go. If this kind of weekly impulse to the upside was this kind of a sign of a reversal, then there is no reason for ETH to. I have a purple line here, but there is really no reason for ETH BTC to go kind of underneath that or anywhere near that. It really should start kind of bouncing from here, to be fair. So yeah, like I said. Bitcoin ETH BTC very quickly. If you are day trading, I know that like most people just kind of telling you at the moment, like, not look at it at all. I feel like if you are day trading, there are still plenty of nice rotations on this. You can see, we had a decent move to the upside today. Obviously, it's very low percentage wise, but we still move like 1%. If you are day trading, this is kind of all you need. To be fair, I know it's silly for some, but you can see we had this kind of a short squeeze. And if you're gonna take a look at the OI, overall, this is kind of a peak mental illness where basically everyone is just trying to position themselves, and they are getting shaken out basically left and right. Like I said, it's very small kind of intraday moves, but for day trading, I feel like this is more than enough to capture some nice intraday rotations, on these kind of a over leveraged, positioning. So yeah, if you are day trading, I feel like I said this is all good. For like a bigger weekly swing moves for me, coming into the new week where I will be more kind of actively watching. I don't know. I would most likely to say that if we are going to test somewhere into this kind of a breakdown at 46k, if you're gonna rally all the way here, I would be most likely looking to get a little bit short. If we just start to break down from there, then who knows, kind of lower prices, I guess.
Do you have any thoughts on the since ETF approved, we had a bit of sell-off. Now the whole. Are you paying any attention to the inflows, outflows, redemptions?
To be fair, I haven't looked at it for like a single minute. Yeah, like I said, I was traveling, and it's enough that I took a couple trades on my holiday. Looking at ETF inflows and outflows would be like peak depression thing you do when you are actually taking time off. So no, I haven't looked at it at all, basically.
Are you trying to tell us that you actually take time off instead of doing the same thing but from a different location?
No, like last trade I took on BTC, was this short basically in like middle of January. So we are almost a month from when I last traded Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm really looking for more kind of obvious things for me. Two kind of obvious levels where I would be look to trade would be here, above like 46, and then most likely if we would kind of rally back down here at 40.
For like
0.8,
isn't it something you call in blue?
Yeah, it's like a over and under pattern basically, and you have this kind of a dip in the volumes. You can see also here, and a kind of dip in the volumes. Basically, like last thing you want to be doing is trying to heavily position when you have this like huge chunk of volumes and everyone is kind of trading there. So there is really no need to bother with that. With ETH, kind of areas of interest for me would be probably somewhere higher if we would kind of rally a little higher into here, and on the low side, similar, basically in this kind of a volume dip. There is this like a triple bottom now on ETH right here, which would be pretty decent area to look for some trades. So yeah, this was very quick on Bitcoin and ETH. Like we kind of mentioned, there are some interesting altcoins, I guess, to talk about. We had a Jupiter launch, which is insane meme at this point with all the tweets and everything. So yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah, maybe I'll just a bit of closing words on the Bitcoin and ETH. I feel like with the whole inflows, outflows, nobody really knows what's up. It's interesting that a lot of volatility, because I feel like the audience, at least from your side of things, people who might have read the blog and whatever, in the courses, like I believe you speak about, like trading different sessions in different parts of the day. There's a lot of volatility around US Open. Maybe with the ETFs, Bitcoin will start trading more like institutional asset, if you will, or TradFi asset.
I was actually kind of thinking about this when I was gone, like because I kind of watch things throughout the day, although I don't really day trade anymore. Like I don't really go under like hourly time frame when I execute trades, and don't really look at lower time frames. But yeah, with if kind of the ETF and all the volatility stays within these kind of US sessions, it's basically almost like makes more sense if you want to be actively day trading or actively trading to just like take this, like I don't know, it's usually like 5-hour window during the day, basically after US, like you can go like hour before US opens, from I can only tell you from our time, so yeah. all the hours I thought just calculate to Prague hours, sorry, but it's like from like 2 p.m. until like 6-7 p.m. basically in Central Europe time.
So for like 2 people watching maybe.
Yeah. So So like if you it might be really the case when like it won't really make that much sense to even bother outside of these hours, or like New York time is basically 8:30 until like afternoon, like 2-3 p.m. So yeah,
But I
it's
feel like
I
it's
was
actually
actually
good, you know,
yeah,
for
definitely.
us.
And I was even thinking that like I might just start to day trade a little more, because obviously if you are only looking like at like hourly time frames, there might not be that much. I was actually kind of looking at BTC before we started streaming. Like on hourly time frame, you don't really see that much here, but if you like go to the 5 minutes, we can see that we had this kind of a push to the downside, volumes coming in. So like quicker day trades within the kind of more of a active US sessions might start to make more sense, rather than just like sit inside this nothing on higher time frames, and just have this like maybe one trade a week or whatever, basically.
Yeah, but that kind of leads us to the topic of today, right? Like Bitcoin, to simplify it, Bitcoin, no edge there, not even that much vol. What is popping right now is altcoins, specifically, I would say, at least from my lens, new coins. So let me actually switch switch screen to mine. And I just want to make sure you can see it. I mean you, Adam. And I want to ask you a question. How many of these coins do you know?
Yeah, so to be fair, I was a little bit outside of the loop. I have like no idea what Zeta is. I have no idea what the Alt USDT is. Other than that, I am pretty kind of knowledgeable, and I kind of kept up to date. Especially with Pith, which kind of rallied with Link. I believe there is this Oracle type of situation. Yeah, but like I said, I haven't really traded these basically at all. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can slowly freestyle into it. Obviously, the two most prepared streamers in the world. Um, no, I feel like so I've been also traveling, not as much as you, but like last 30 days or basically beginning of the year was all ETF, right? And after that, it's been a bit of limbo. Like everything is a bit of ranging, and it doesn't, like we've been trading together for like over a year now, or like discussing trades. It does not remind me of anything I've seen in the past. Like it's been like very interesting / new meta right now. Maybe it's just I'm getting older and slower, but before it was like you would have like metaverse narrative, layer one rotations. That was like just before ETF actually. It made like you could actually find a lot of how to say it, like characteristics that made sense within the rotation. And now I feel like we basically people just speculating and jumping from one project to another. A lot of these coins on this watch list are like airdrop tokens. I guess Wave is different in that regard, but maybe we can maybe you will show the chart and we can discuss some of them
Yeah,
and the upcoming
there are.
dim.
Yeah. Like the only thing basically I traded outside of BTC was like towards the end of January. I was longing Near and Celestia, which are not that new coins. Uh, but like I noticed, with these, I think especially Celestia kind of performed quite well. I was getting along actually somewhere around this area. Haven't really held it all the way up. I think I closed it around this kind of shop. But like it's different. It's a little different kind of dynamic. If you're gonna kind of compare it to the November, basically December rallies. This is still way choppier. Compared to what we have. I actually really like Celestia. I haven't really kept up to date on like what's happening on like fundamental side of things or whatever. But it's still it's having this kind of a very decent spot bit. It's one of the, I think it's only one of these kind of major altcoins which has kind of constantly negative funding. It's at like 0.1, so it's not like some like that small of a margin, for a coin which is like big like this. It's pretty decent. And when I was longing this, it was really going deep into the negatives. So this was definitely a decent trade. It reminds me a little bit of Injective, like last, I don't know, September, October, which kind of had this kind of constant spot bit, and it really performed really well. So this is definitely one of the things that I'm kind of watching at the moment. Yeah, someone is mentioning Matic. There is this rebrand coming.
I mean,
I think
it's been known, right? It's like it's not
yeah,
new.
it's been coming for like a couple of months. I feel like maybe even longer.
Yeah.
This chart I feel like is extremely down. It's not that bad. It's actually a pretty decent spot on Matic. I don't think though like a rebrand for just a change of the name would do that much. The price action, like
I mean,
especially since it's like
historically, it was for some coins.
yeah, but like this is such a known thing. I don't know. It might be good. Yeah, like the chart is not at the worst spot, but I feel like there's like nothing insane here. There was basically a bunch of selling. If you're gonna take a look at open interest, when we had this kind of move, this was basically this kind of section. So there's decent chance that we're gonna kind of squeeze these shorts if this starts pushing higher. We will be like watching the OI going back towards these lows. We are spot is basically. We are, in like a spot premium, so there is a chance for that. It doesn't look that bad, to be fair.
One thing that's interesting about Matic is what I noticed, or like, and I know it's biased because it's like CT being CT, right? Like whoever watched yesterday's stream knows like CT is not at all times the most serious cohort of people. But like Matic just keeps getting so much shit from everybody.
Yeah.
Like the dev is Indian. That means like those are not my words, but like that's the sentiment I see, and I don't know. My brain doesn't really comprehend it, but it just has negative like people just want to hear about Matic and Polygon. Like I don't know why.
Yeah,
But
I don't know how this would work. Like if you have like opened Matic positions, especially on perps, like you are forced to close them, or someone mentioned this in the chat. Basically, like I don't know how this kind of dynamic is solved when I'm like like let's say I would just long. But obviously, I feel like if I hold spot, it's just kind of transferred to the new token. There is no kind of difference. But like if I will, like long perps now, and what's gonna happen with them when there is a new
But yeah,
token.
let's chat actually about the new tokens because I don't know Matic has been around for many years, like
Yeah.
and it's already done one rebrand at least when I was around. So maybe actually let me go to my screen for a sec.
Sure.
I just want to show one example or like we always like to show like CoinMarketCap, right, and these categories. So say layer ones, you would have your Ethereum, Solana's, Avalanche. Back then, like you would have these categories. And so like new coins is one category by itself. But one thing I would like to highlight is, or like at least angle I'm looking at is, so here's like 10 coins or whatever, right? So let me start with Wave. Because if I open just the chart, this is weekly, let me do daily. It's basically, it's not looking great, right? I would say it's, like I'm not predicting a direction, but what I noticed a lot with meme coins, be that Wave or Bonk or whatever it was called, like, and for the major, so like, right, a new coin, if I type it out, new coin, but meme coin, major, what is it called? Major exchange, what is it called? Tier 1, right?
Yeah. Like meme coins, when basically they get listed on like Binance, it's usually kind of over.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just very quick note because that's a very different situation than right above it is Celestia. And if I do weekly, it's basically, good luck finding charts like this, right? So that's my whole, like, what I've personally started not doing, but at least like I try to make like some sort of mental framework because I would like to then discuss with you DIM, which is like new token, which is probably launching this upcoming week, I mean. And I was basically, my exercise, which I'm trying to do with this stream is, which chart could it copy? Does it make sense? Like, is it going to copy WIF or is it more going to copy Celestia? I know it's neither. You can never approach trading like this, but I think some like characteristics to try make the best judgment are decent. So Celestia, there was why I think it's strong, and maybe you even know something about it, but it's a layer 1 if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And like we've seen throughout the years that it's like layer 1s did well. What is Jito? Is it like it's basically isn't it basically Lido on Solana?
Yeah.
Right, but like just like all these charts are new, right? And like Wave down only, Celestia up only, Jito. This kind of reminds me of PIF, which I'll get to in a second. But I think it's important to, people saying, I'm going to play the airdrop fractal, because some of these were airdrops, right? Jito airdrop, Ondo airdrop, Manta also, but you had to do some effort. Alt, airdrop, Jupiter, farmed airdrop, PIF. I don't actually know. I think it was an airdrop too, but I'm not confident. And Zeta was an airdrop. So, it's like a bit of different motion rather than with being just a new coin. Ondo, I honestly have no clue what the fuck that is. I just seen people say Ondo Kondo and it is listed on Coinbase, which doesn't happen that very often. Manta, I think it's interesting. Out of the coins we can like actually spend some time. Manta is like layer 2, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody is real time can correct me, please feel free, because the two most prepared streamers in the world. But it's like layer 2, so it kind of fits the whole meta of,
like not being complete shit, basically.
Yeah. Right, like the approach. And same with alt layer, which is like a quote-unquote beta of Eigenlayer, which is like this, I'll probably butcher this completely, but like restaking, like the new buzzwords, right? I think that's the good selling point, like buzzwords that people are like, oh, data availability, modularity, but like I don't even want to try pronounce these. Jupiter being essentially a DEX, if I'm not mistaken, so basically Uniswap, heavily farmed.
Yeah, I love how people, like, I haven't paid attention to Jupiter basically at all. Like, whole city was acting as this is kind of second coming of Jesus, but I played around with it today. Actually, it's just another Uniswap clone with schizophrenic death, especially now kind of
going on mental health break.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jupiter, I guess the idea is that, a lot of the Solana DeFi, at least from my angle, please feel free to disagree, people in the audience, most of the Solana ecosystem was basically Alameda VC pump and dump vaporwave. Now, obviously, FTX died. A lot of, like, very few protocols actually survived. So what we see now is, like, this new generation, I would call it in my head, like, Solana 2.0. Like rebirth, right? Like this new thriving ecosystem, NFT collections, meme coins, like everything, because Ethereum is expensive, right? So Jupiter being this like one of the major places to swap. I believe they also have like perp. I've used it, but I'm not like very fluent. Somebody saying. No. Somebody saying that. You're reading that.
Yeah.
We can I mean, we're not really. I would, in my defense, say like we're mostly like giving it like categories branding. But yeah, Jupiter. I think a lot of the hype is with the fact, as you said, the dev is interesting to say the least. I have like, and then PIF, which I think PIF. You mentioned like a good point. So that's your like Oracle/Link beta. Even though if you said this to holders or like the community members, they would kill you because they're so like, no, like Chainlink community is basically saying PIF is like it's not good. It's like it's cringe how these communities are finding.
Yeah.
But it just got a spot listing. That's why we had this spike up. It's going up and whatnot. And Zeta, I have no fucking clue what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. I saw that today. I was looking at like the OI changes on a bunch of different coins. Like what's kind of popular is always like a nice indicator to look at very quickly. And I have no idea what it is actually.
But then that brings me to, how are you trading these coins? Do you trade them, or maybe we can like not even trade, but the whole approach to trading? I think, I think me and you, if you're being honest, like we like to talk shit to people experimenting stuff, even though that's like actually the right thing to do, I think at least. But I think just me and you gotten a bit complacent, and maybe not complacent, but also just busy with other shit. It's like we don't have the time to day trade, or like people ask me, are you on Farcaster? I'm like, what the fuck is Farcaster? Kobe is on a Farcaster. Like, did you farm this protocol? Like, bro, what the fuck? I just had 8 hours of sleep. I did my 10K run. Like it's so much happening, and I feel like it's, and even like, okay, so like, would you agree that to trade, like by default, you need volatility, right? Bitcoin, as you discussed, literally has none. If you're day trading Bitcoin, please seek Jesus, go to church, get help. Betterhelp.com/musical chairs unplugged. No. And these new coins often get a lot of volatility, right? You can basically, if you wanna trade, which, what the fuck is this?
This is not new coin. This is like a quite an old coin. I remember this way back. This is only, I think it was only on chain for a while. It's really strong. It's something on ETH, and that's like the best expertise I will tell you about Pendlay. Something on ETH,
Okay.
which is doing very good lately.
Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
go up and underneath.
To be fair, like I don't really trade new coins. Because I feel like the new coins are best for day trading, like really intraday stuff, which I don't really do. And there is like there's not that much history. All this is kind of fucked and skewed heavily because especially when you have like like I look at perp data and some spot data as well. If you're gonna go to here, we can take a look, for example, at Manta. But yeah, like for me, I really prefer to like just trade the larger caps because they have like bunch of data. 90+% is done on the centralized exchange, rather than I'm doing all the fucking order flow larping analysis, looking at OI on something which someone got airdropped 8 figures of it and just can like dump it or whatever. Like it's not my favorite thing to trade because of this. Like there is lack of kind of data. There's no, obviously there's no chart history. There's, this kind of OI is, it got kind of heavily skewed here. It's kind of up only or whatever because like it's still a new thing. You have like new market makers from exchanges getting positioned, which kind of brings into this OI as well. So I don't feel like I have a biggest edge in trading these things, therefore I don't really do trade them.
But it's more from a perspective of like your system around, like is
Yeah,
evolved.
like
Gotcha.
but I believe that there is like this kind of a new shiny thing syndrome where just things do well because they don't have any kind of PTSD history.
Yeah.
We saw that with Celestia, obviously.
There's basically what Adam is saying. There's no bag holders. So that's
Yeah,
quite
and
important.
like once these things kind of start to go, like obviously Celestia was very kind of unique case because it just went.
No,
It
because I
just got
paper
like
handed it.
yeah, it basically just went sideways for a bit and just went up, but like after it goes up, you just kind of I think wait for a little bit of a pullback and hope for the best type of situation. But yeah, I remember trading Arbitrum, and I think there is not going to be not on Velo, but if you're gonna take a look at Harp on Binance, uh, this was pretty good kind of trade that I took. When it got listed, and it's very obvious thing. I don't know, a lot of people are kind of watching for this kind of typical situation where basically just things go kind of sideways after the launch, and then you have this kind of first level of support. You kind of break underneath that, shake out some people, and then you kind of take it for the next leg, and then for Arbitrum, obviously went a little bit lower, a little bit more lower, and went
That was
little much
also
higher.
Upbit listing, I believe, back then.
Yeah, but like kind of a initial listing within like next couple of days, next couple of weeks is this kind of a very typical range situation. You take one side, you travel to the next one, and I know a lot of people were watching for this on Jupiter. But yeah, it's not really happening. If I'm gonna go to the lower time frames,
Yeah, you would
basically
get fucked.
it's basically this type of situation. It's still, there's still I feel like there's still possibility on this to kind of play that. If we kind of reclaim, I would say like this is what's kind of holding the price now. There's a kind of edge of these volumes here. So maybe for Jupiter, I would actually look for something like this. Like push to the upside, rotation higher. But if I gonna take a look at Velo, and if I'm gonna take a look at like order flow of this, there's really nothing I can
Yeah.
see here as being like a very obvious edge based on the fact that OI is just building up from the start because it's a new thing. Yeah, it's really nothing here. So you mostly just trade like price action, and then if it's strong, you just kind of go with it. And like I said, I'm not biggest fan of the fact that how much people still hold on chain from airdrops or whatever. So that obviously can highly kind of influence the prices.
Yeah, I think like there is a lot of edge. You know, if maybe people trade fractals. Sorry, geez, what the fuck am I saying? Trading price action. I really don't know how that word fractal came into my head, but you know, maybe not per se like order flow, especially on like, you know, let's say you saying you no longer day trade, so I would go for 1 hour and higher. Then there's just not edge. And like, you know, people like I've seen arguments like, oh, so 65% of airdrop claim, that's a good place to buy. Like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like, but people clearly have some edge, and I don't want to like shit on it. But I think generally speaking, to make some sort of conclusion, I think it's generally like if you have the time and want to learn, I think the new coins just offer a lot more to actually learn.
Definitely, yeah.
Than, you
But
know,
like for
trading fucking
me,
old shit.
yeah, like for me, you know, like I said, I took a trade in NIR, you know, which was very simple idea of someone buying like 800k worth of it, and price, you know, clearly kind of bouncing from that. You know, this was like a genuine buy order here. You know, I started logging somewhere inside that. You know, after market actually bounced from that. You know, you hold it basically to the like next sticky spot, which was over here. I closed it a little earlier, but you know, these are kind of the trades that I take. These are the trades that I like to take when I know that, you know, the actual order flow and the vast majority of trading is, you know, happening at like one place, not, you know, someone having, you know, billion worth of Jupiter in fucking Phantom Wallet and just can dump it on me, you know, without me, you know, expecting it and seeing it anytime soon kind of situation.
Yeah, but I guess that will not happen with all of the projects, right? For example, like look, I don't want to call Jupiter. I know it's a very like big project, you know, and team whatever, but it's not like, let's say if you get dumped on by developer or team of WIF, right, the meme coin or any other on-chain meme coin, would that surprise you? Versus, I don't know, let's say something like PIF, you know, like I
Yeah.
guess on paper, quote unquote, more serious project, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, but I think that's just part of the analysis to be kind of, I guess, thoughtful of, like, what is the situation. And then I guess it's fucking hell, I'll hate myself for this, but like tokenomics, or, you know, understanding like the actual flows. And I know you're laughing, but it's just, I think it's important to understand, you know, because that's very strong marketing in itself. And there's few, why I'm even like why the stream is titled New Coins. It's like if you actually look at like Binance announcements website where I got the list from, the watch list, it's like they keep listing shit every 3 days there's a new coin. And I feel like it's important to just, you know, understand that, you know, the attention, like what I think is beautiful about the space, it's all about like hype and attention, right? It's like streetwear, it's like clothing. What is the coolest sneakers right now? Like same applies to NFTs and whatnot.
But like with PIF, especially, you know, this is kind of interesting example. Obviously, at the start of the year, we had this kind of overall flush. This was not only on the PIF, or, you know, everything. It's like the start of the year, there was uh whatever, like this. I don't even know. Yeah, like what is it? Oh, okay, sorry, it's here. You know, obviously, everything kind of flushed at the start of the year, but like PIF, you know, having a nice rally, which kind of came almost 2 months after it got listed. So there is definitely this kind of a time span, and you can even see it on this if you're gonna take a look at OI, like all this kind of initial build up of these new positions, like of the old people buying a new shiny token, you know, they just got completely flushed. Here, you know, obviously funding went negative, and then it kind of rallied and it held. Basically, this is one of the things that I love to look at when I'm kind of going for, you know, trend continuations, especially, you know, you have this kind of build up of the OI with this move. Obviously, this seems small, but this is like 30% OI. This is 40 million, 30 million coins edit position, and you know, these are the levels which very often tend to kind of, this is basically how kind of SR flips, or like support, resistance turning support kind of dynamic works, because obviously someone with size, you know, made sure that we break above this kind of previous level, which is, you know, whatever is here, and you know, they usually make sure that they will hold the prices on the retest. So obviously PIT new coin, but it still took decent amount of time, and you know, a lot of kind of a, you know, like if you would be just buying a new shiny thing now, you know, you would have pretty painful month and a half before you know, being in profit.
And that's hard, right? Like, because I think that's what you just said is super useful when people basically are complacent, say, I'll just buy the dip, it will go up, like the classic airdrop fractal. But like,
Yeah.
when is your invalidation? Is it time based? Because I'm this autist like who like I like my time based invalidations. Like I would be invalidated, right? If I was longing PIF, I would have to close it, and then to watch it rally without you. It's just
Yeah.
so there's like, and I think there's, even though we kind of are not saying anything, I think the concepts are very useful with regards to trying to actually find patterns and not like, buy the dip, when you sell, is it the hold? Because then you have obviously an outlier like Celestia. But I think some like categories like, is it a layer one? Is it like a layer two thingy? Is it a game? Is it a governance token? Is it a meme coin? Might help some of the, and then obviously tokenomics. If it has like, every month 1% circulating supply inflation or whatever, something that's not ridiculous, but like, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
some sort of confluence.
Someone asking about injective. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a old news at this point. Obviously injective. Um, since since
A year ago.
a year ago, I had like a biggest brain fart here. I was looking at January 23 and thought this was a month ago. Um, yeah, like injective rallied. 3,500%. And yeah, like how much upside does this really have? It looks like it's in this like a big distribution situation now. Going for what this being a kind of a bearish retest. Once again, very nice trade. I didn't take this one, but you have this kind of a higher time frame resistance. Obviously this that didn't really look that strong on like a higher time frame side of things. If anything, this is like a retest into this whole structure after we broke it. And we basically rallied into it with a large amount of buying here on the OI. I don't know. I'm not really interested in going long here, and I think it's a little too late to go short at this point. So
And maybe if the person asking could add a bit of context, because I think it's important. Like if you're long from a $5 and you're asking thoughts on injective, it's very different than somebody but being
yeah,
like, maybe you're in stable coins and you want to go long something. And look, I hope I don't come across as like, I don't know, like I'm mocking it. It's just, I think the context is important. Like because longing it here is probably, like there's probably better trades, better longs.
yeah,
Would you agree?
yeah.
Like in terms of if you want to make extra money.
I would basically, I don't know, like on like a big time frame, this is obviously weekly. I don't really see many reasons to kind of pay attention into this until it like tests the previous all-time high, maybe at $25. And ideally even lower. I would be
Yeah.
looking at like 20. This is like the consolidation before this leg up, so it's quite a move to the downside. But yeah, just I don't know. I'm not really super interested in injective, to be fair.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, it's like just like Celestia, it's a IBC chain, right? So you can basically
Yeah,
stake injective, and I've seen people, making threads how you should stake injective and use the protocols to farm some imaginary like maybe
I
maybe
think
maybe it is the future. I don't know. I
yeah,
haven't seen
it's a
anything.
little. It feels a little similar to Solana, to be fair. Like this still, like this has obviously insane rally since September. Like how much more there is to it. I don't really think that like Solana will just go to 200 whatever from here. It's kind of washed at this point. Looking a little better than injective, but still I don't think it's like the coin you should be focusing on at the moment. Even though it's still a bunch of things happening on Solana and everything. It's just like super overextended, yeah.
But also, would you agree? Like, this is not my style of trading, but like consolidation in the, let's say, I know people are gonna cringe, but like range between 100 and 80, 80 to 100, sorry, like that range
Yeah,
is generally speaking, you could make a case that's somehow bullish if you're not a perma bear trying to find this
yeah, like
distribution.
it's like, yeah, like usually like Link is interesting because like usually with these kind of thin, very fast moves to the upside. You usually kind of go in the sideways and then likely to correct a little bit. But yeah, Link is this kind of opposite case where we went sideways for 2 months and now it's kind of breaking up again without like Link very much tested this kind of like a first structure which was here, not even that properly. So yeah, it can go, but like for example Solana or Injective, I would be much rather buying this into actual strength rather than thinking this is going to do same exact thing as Link and just like go long here hoping for this basically to happen from there. I would much rather just like wait. There is this kind of line here. This is like a 30-day rolling VWAP. You can use moving averages, whatever. Like if you would at least break above that, that's usually a good kind of trend indicator.
Somebody's saying
But yeah.
people will keep betting on the fastest horse in the race, though. Yeah.
I think like people just like rotate to shit that moves. Like
Yeah,
I know like
Sui.
say doesn't look that good, but Sui is looking good.
That looks
Yes.
like Injective, the previous chart.
Yeah, and Sui is looking pretty strong. This having this kind of a all-time high break, which kind of historically I feel like is something that a lot of people try to fade, which more often than not just continues to the upside. I think Sui is looking still fairly strong.
But again, it's like it's a layer one, right? It just proves
Yeah.
the whole. Sorry
Yeah.
to be boring with it, but it's also pep talk for myself that layer ones just seem to be, because it's actually easy narrative to sell. I think
Yeah, it's to be fair, like it's the only thing in crypto that is actually like, worth something. It's there's like nothing
ecosystems.
else really than like a new layers basically. There's like nothing new is happening basically. Like all the like I
But
feel like
it's the
all new
promise, right?
projects.
It's the
Yeah.
promise of
Yeah.
building the next
I
ETH,
think
I guess.
one thing that's obviously we should kind of I feel like talk about this and is doing really well, and I'm a little
Yeah.
sad that I didn't took the trade is Render. It's kind of consolidating a little bit, but Apple launched a new Black Mirror thing, so this is looking pretty decent. I was actually expecting like more AI coins to kind of catch up, which is not really happening, but Render is only AI coin at the moment. I feel like which is like worth to pay attention to. Yeah, even WorldCoin is doing pretty much nothing.
But you know what? Actually, I would disagree with you here, and I would say that Render is more of a Nvidia type thing. The whole bet on that. So maybe not per se AI, but more like the VR, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So it's even more kind of a
So
suited
if
to.
you now look at Nvidia chart, which I cannot
That's
believe.
pretty insane. Yeah.
Like this thing outperformed most of the altcoins.
Yeah,
actually,
this
even
thing-
in percentage terms,
Yeah, that's crazy. How much up this is? Yeah, this is like Solana basically from the lows,
But
which are
just the
from
market cap
October.
is like
Yeah.
it's like $1 trillion company now. Which is like, look, we're not gonna be here, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but I do believe Render is like your proxy of that, because the whole I've seen the narrative of it being like decentralized computing power, or like but what do I know?
Yeah, you mentioned that when we talked before the stream, you mentioned a good trade opportunity, the thing that you longed and I longed as well, and I think it does make sense, and people forgot about it a little bit. If you want to share,
yeah, Blur.
Yeah, I think it's looking very good actually. Let me look here.
So but the whole idea is blast. I mean, it's not like it's alpha, because it's all of CTs talking about.
No, but like it's interesting because like attention span of the people is so low in the space, and I feel like everyone kind of forgot about it at this point, and it's basically when it's supposed to launch.
Like later this month. I'm not sure if a date is like public.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, it should be, like later in this month, which is, still very optimistic, because look, it's 4th of February. and whatever can happen in the meantime. But
yeah, like, but I feel like there is a decent-ish narrative for it, and for me, it matched kind of the things that I like to look at when I'm longing things, which is obviously the fact that all these people are shorting it now. So yeah, it's having a nice turnaround, and I think this is one of the things that can kind of move. Like Blur moved a lot previously. It was very strong. Yeah, around here in November. Yeah, I think this is a pretty looking chart with both kind of narratives and also the order flow of it.
so if I make you money, can I visit your uncle?
No.
Scam.
But yeah, Blur is pretty decent.
Yeah,
People are now buying. Perps are going long on this, but yeah, I basically just took the signal when you posted in your paid group. So I think it's a decent
Fuck,
looking
you
chart.
actually said that I'm actually trading. Fuck.
Nice. Yeah. At least I would like to see at least this kind of 63,
Yeah,
64
targeting
cents somewhere
the
here.
same.
Yeah, like the
It's
previous
super
highs
illiquid,
basically.
right? It's pretty illiquid, like.
Yeah.
And yeah, even
Filling
as
bit.
you like, obviously this is shilling in the bags, but if you zoom out a little bit, which is, I'm surprised I'm saying this, it was like a resistance as you have the line.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of flipped the level. Took out the previous lows. It's sitting basically testing this consolidation, and with all that coming into that, we had these people trying to fade it. You can see funding when negative. This weird looking line
What
is
the fuck? Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how the fuck did you upgrade your? What are
Yeah,
those?
yeah, it's basically the premium. It's the same as funding, but sometimes it's kind of a more accurate. It's the same as funding. It's just like seeing how spot and perps are moving. It's basically the same thing.
Gotcha.
Um,
I mean, you just want to be special, so it's fine.
yeah, it's just like I love when people are sending me DMs of what platform I'm using and what indicators I have
Yeah,
on
it's the
chart. So
best when people saying, "How did you get this to your trading view?" You send them
What
the
is this?
tutorial to 20-minute video, like, this is Velo or this is XYZ. So is this like a paid indicator? Like, oh. No, but this is such a, I think, like, my personal take on the Blur. Um, it has pretty shitty tokenomics, I know that, but we also seen how many people like deposited money to the Blast thing. Like, let me actually try to find it.
Yeah, this is insane. It's like 50 mil or something.
No, way
Pretty.
more.
Jesus.
Brother, so much more. Like, I'm actually googling it on the second computer. As of right now, which I don't know if that's like. Look, what the fuck, dude? 1.3 billion.
That's insane. That's a lot of money.
Jesus.
What it's even supposed to be? Once again I
Oh,
kept,
okay. Look, Blast is like. My knowledge is so shit. It's a new layer too. Layer. Why are you
the
laughing?
fucking state of things in this industry. What is this? It's a new layer 1. This is new layer 2. This is layer 0. This is a layer 15. Yeah, of
I
course it's
mean,
new layer.
well, yeah. Like, you look. Basically, the meta is, from my understanding, I'm not participating. It's a layer 2, and they had points, which
Yeah,
gets
this
people.
was Magic is looking nice. Someone mentioned Magic. I'm not really seeing like there is not much from like order flow perspective on perps.
Yeah, like
Basically, you
nobody
can
trading this
see
ever.
yeah, like it flipped big level of SR. There was bunch of buying coming through it. You can see in this section right here. So these people are basically holding it at the moment, and it rallied. So if you get long earlier today, I wouldn't be against kind of holding that. Let's see
Is
if
there anything
someone.
for somebody, if somebody in the chat knows? Like, I just we like Magic, prop, but it's just like, how to say it, like, always some big brain trading this thing. But it's
Yeah.
obviously Arbitrum coin. It's a gaming coin. But if there's anything, But yeah, chart-wise, that looks pretty decent. But I just always know how when it looks good, it always breaks my heart.
It's always bad. Yeah, this is decent, like there's this spot bit, and yeah, it's just a bunch of buyers basically from all of this section just holding the price now,
They're going to
doing.
launch a layer 3. I'm fucking done. I'm retiring from trading. I'm gonna go now do gardening or something.
Okay, so
And they also had
yeah,
Paribu listing. I know that. That's a session.
someone session disconnected.
I'll switch to mine. I don't know what the fuck is happening over you if you're getting DDO.
And my computer is like fucked. I wasn't at home for a month, and like I'm getting like locked out from all the website after like 15 minutes. My trading view is disconnecting because it's saying I'm logged in on Mac, which is like turned off. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I opened ETH BTC chart on my.
Yeah, of course you did.
If this goes up, I'll finally shut the fuck up. Okay, this is a local top. No, but maybe like okay, give me a chance,
No.
right? If ETH BTC goes up, altcoins should go up too.
Yeah, like definitely, like I said, like this should be the.
Is your shit working? Can I switch to your screen? Is it safe?
Yeah, it is. It's like this should be kind of a environment where altcoins should be performing well. If we kind of learned anything from the past. I'm not biggest fan of this kind of like what people say on CT when BTC up, then alts up, then this up, and there is like no mention of anything going down. But like if BTC is not going to necessarily just like completely nuke from here, then I think this is not the worst kind of spot for alts to actually do something.
And then the same people are like, oh, but there's FOMC.
Yeah, that was on Friday, right?
Dude, it was like the shortest panic attack ever on CT. Like we went down, or like if you go on low enough time frames, but yeah, that like basically that the limp dick on.
Yeah, this is the Friday PM.
No, the FOMC.
No,
it's where.
Wednesday.
Right. Yes,
Wednesday.
this pump
Shit,
it.
yeah.
No, to the right. The Eiffel Tower, you see.
Oh, okay.
Burj Khalifa.
Okay,
I think. Or no, maybe.
Yeah. It's Wednesday. Sorry, NFP is on Friday. Yeah.
The fact that you know that, but you don't know the new coins is embarrassing.
Yeah, but then you look at Nasdaq, and this is also fucking insane chart. Yeah, it's like above all-time high and everything. Cool. So,
Feel free to shield your.
Yeah. We are coming to the end. I will quickly look at my favorites.
Maybe okay. I have a topic actually. There is a why I wanted to kind of rant or like just go through this topic is probably this week, not confirmed because that's like not known, but Bitfinex, one of the OG exchanges, made a blog post that they're gonna list something called the DIM dimension. So like that could be that will be a new coin. Like, do I know if it gets listed on major exchanges? I don't know that. But if it is, I think it'll be interesting to basically watch. That's all I'm saying with this. And yeah, I think it'll be exciting to watch because I do believe there is some narrative connection to Celestia. I'm not saying it will perform like Celestia. It would be ridiculous to say it's going to pull out 10x or whatever it did. But I will definitely like keep an eye on it. And currently, even in my bookmarks, I have like reading tokenomics or whatever distributions like a future bag holder. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure it will get listed everywhere. Like these exchanges are worse than whores. They will list anything for money. So yeah.
But I mean, that's their business model, I guess. And at least like with this project, I could make a case. I know it's just a lack of our knowledge. But remember some of the listings last year when we were like, what the fuck? Like,
what is big time doing? Let's have a throwback. It's still up. This rallied insanely much. This is a bad example. I wanted to make fun of Binance listing things, and it's still not that. So it's not that.
I mean, if you look at just the left part, the pump was basically the CT creme de la creme shilling. There was a period of time where there was a lot of shilling on CT actually of this.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
it's like when things are hot, like this is obviously November, December, when everything kind of went up. Like people like all go into this like window when there are like no morals and like people think it's because the whole market is bullish, like they can just shill basically anything from like on chain to like whatever they want. It's kind of funny to watch always.
yeah. That's I think for now this will probably horribly age. I mean probably not, but you have what I've always liked about you. Jesus, yesterday I had a gay stream and now I'm
Yeah.
going full gay again.
Wow.
Is like okay, gay jokes, sure, uncle jokes, but never like shilling questionable stuff. And I know there's no like right or wrong thing to this. Some people just don't give a fuck. Like having 150,000 followers and a shilling, something below $1 million market cap.
Yeah.
It's I don't
Here's
know.
what
It
it is.
feels.
I'm kind of completely staying out. Like I'm using these screeners and shit, but like one of the conditions I have here is like the thing needs to have at least 100 million volume. So I'm immediately outside of the on-chain shilling type of situation or like complete garbage on sexes because I just like don't ever even see that. And then I obviously see someone making 5 million X on it, and I'm salty, but. Yeah, I'm not really looking at these things. Even like coins which have like 100 million daily volumes are usually complete shit coins. So that's kind of enough
And just to
for
maybe
me.
reiterate, like it's nothing wrong if that's what you do. It's just not what me and Adam do. Obviously, we trade a bit different, but I think it's a mix of time and also just knowing what we're good at, I guess. And I'm good at nothing, so I just stream instead of trade.
Well,
Are we at least
so
up on Blur?
I don't know. Obviously, I'm swing trading now, so I'm not going to look at it until I get stopped out or whatever happens. But yeah, this is looking okay. If BTC is not going to completely die from here, I think
Exactly.
this
That's my fear. Minus 10%
yeah.
candle and GG.
Yeah, it's always the thing with the altcoins is I still kind of struggle with this till this day, and it's been quite a while since I kind of actively started to look at these things, like all things, all narratives, all the fucking order flow, everything looks amazing. Then BTC does minus 5% in one candle, and I am insolvent basically. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, and
So
what is interesting with some of these is not always, but often we've seen, at least like in recent memory, like you would have like a move, let's say 3% move on Bitcoin, but very sharp one, and all altcoins basically flushing like ridiculous, as if like market
yeah.
makers were just like, the famous picture of BitBoy camera on the floor and his hands up like mic drop, and one of those like if you were sizing, risk management, and all that jazz. It's everybody's has different approach, but
Yeah.
those days often fuck people like big time. No pun intended.
Big time, long. Okay, cool. So we've been on for an hour. I think if no one has any questions or coins they want to talk about, I feel like we are really coming into like a slower period. Obviously everything kind of goes in the cycles, but I feel like a lot of people just losing their attention spans. Not that many new scams on on-chain stuff, which is I don't know. Like I feel like these are really the best times to kind of focus on the markets. Like you can learn a lot of things. You can just when you're not lazy and you can do your research, you can learn about a bunch of stuff, whatever kind of you want to learn about. And yeah, I'm always like to tell people not to completely give up in situations like these when you just don't see 10% moves left and right basically every day.
But also, you can actually practice the patience. Like it's such a. It sounds like such a cliche buzzword, the sit on your hands. But I've seen so many people, and it happened to me previously too. Like when you just take stupid trades because you're bored, and it's really not worth losing even like literally $1. It's just, and I don't know. It's, would you like, for you? I know you don't care because you just go for fucking like, go to like USA or something, but. You know, any maybe closing words or tips how to, you know, work on that patience, because you know, we are online 24/7, and it just gives you, you know what I'm trying to say.
I think, yeah, like it depends on this, like depends on situation. Obviously, it's very tricky when you have to kind of trade for income. You know, because like I see a lot of these kind of advice is like, oh yeah, like go touch grass and take a break and come back in 7 months, which is like, okay, cool, but like I need to fucking pay rent and eat food. So yeah, it's tricky, but I still believe that like if you can be really patient, you will, like I have like ridiculously good vacation strike rate. I know it sounds stupid, but like every time I travel, I usually like go away for like 3 weeks to a month, and I don't like to just not do nothing and like completely disconnect. I'm too retarded to do that, unfortunately, even though it would be kind of beneficial for me, I feel like. So like when I'm traveling, I only really take the trades which I find like the highest kind of chance to succeed, and I usually take very good trades actually when I'm traveling. So there is definitely a lesson in there.
Wow.
compared to when I like sit in front of charts for 15 hours a day and I'm tend to get bored and I just like take the less optimal trades. So
Somehow.
yeah, like
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, like I really believe that like even if if you like swing trade like me, like I said, I usually look at like 12-hour chart, and it's something has to be there for me to be interested. You will usually find a good trade at least once a week. You still can like look at the different markets. If you are solely sticking to crypto, I don't know. You can try on chain, you can try NFTs or whatever. There are obviously legacy markets you can trade as well. And if you day trade, I feel like there is still a bunch of things going on like intraday rotations. If you really have nothing better to do with yourself.
Hell yeah. All right. I guess there's
Okay,
no more questions. So
cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, thank you Wu for sponsoring us. If you want to show some love and support, you can use the link in the description, and we will see you Friday or Saturday, I guess.
yeah, I'm going traveling to make some money with the ass,
Okay,
not
cool.
trading. Okay, guys, have a